So could you explain to us what Prop 13 actually is and how that protects property owners?
So Prop 13 is a legislation that guides how property taxation works in California. It was established back in 1978. So at that time, there was something called a taxpayer revolt, right? In the boom and bust real estate economy of California, people were getting what they were calling being taxed out of their properties, because back in those days, properties were cyclically appraised every couple of years. And in that sort of economy of California, you can go up 20% in a year, 30% in a year. And over time, you are going to see your property value maybe increase 100% in 5 to 10 years. When that happens, property taxes would be going up commensurately at the same amount. So a person named Howard Jarvis came around, and some folks might remember that name. And really it was thought that we should have something a little more predictable, something a little more stable, that property owners could not necessarily gain some relief, but some predictability about what they're going to be paying in property taxes. So Prop 13 said you're going to establish a value, a base year value. And that value, again, is going to be established on when you purchase the property or when you built the property. And then it can only go up for inflation up to 2% a year. That's what it's going to be capped at per year. Now, it wasn't until a few years later that there was another proposition called Proposition 8 that allowed us to reduce property values if there's been a decline in property values, in market values. Those declines are temporary. You always have a Prop 13 value, an established value at the time of acquisition or purchase. But Prop 8 lets us adjust values, and as a matter of fact, back in the Great Recession, I think we were reducing somewhere around 400,000 properties per year. So Prop 13 definitely helps property owners have a predictability about what they're going to be paying, so they know it's only going to go up 2% a year.
So it's not like assessors can come in and say, here's this $500,000 home, now it's worth $1 million.
Correct.
Prop 13, by way of the inflation factor, keeps that from happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's going to protect those property owners who are seeing in the marketplace large increases, percentage increases from having to pay that large percentage increase. At most, they're going to be assessed at 2% more than the year before. And again, very importantly, if the market is dropping, the assessor's office can adjust those property values downward as appropriately done.